Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to my video, welcome if you are new. I haven't filmed one of these in a very long time. I have a week off from work, literally to do nothing. I just had some annual leave to take, so I've got a week off at home, chilling out, and it means it's time to do a 24-hour readathon. Okay, so it is currently the middle end-ish of August. I haven't read most of my physical TBR. I also have a lot of library books I haven't read. I've just feel like I've been focusing in the first 3 weeks of this month on finishing off series in the middle of, and it just means I haven't really started the new ones or read my library books or any of that stuff. So I feel like I've got a lot of books to read. It is currently 6:30 in the morning. I am up. I am not dressed. I brushed my hair. But I'm not dressed, that's it, that's all I've done. I've woken up and brushed my hair. And I'm gonna sit in bed for a bit and read some of my book. I have an audiobook that I am listening to because I still need to go for a walk, I still need to cook dinner, I still need to do all of my bits. So I'm in the middle of Beth O'Leary's The Wake Up Call, which is a library book I have shockingly through the library, but it's audio. I have to say I'm currently 2 hours already through this audiobook. I'm finding the male audiobooker? What do you call them? I'm finding the male audiobooker a little bit weird to listen to, but otherwise I am enjoying it. I find Beth O'Leary's books quite just easy listening or easy reading. I've read The Flat Share and I've read another book by her that I don't remember, but this one is about a boy and a girl, or a man and a woman, who both work as receptionists in a hotel, a little boutique, fancy little hotel. She's worked there for 10 years. It's her family, it's her passion. She's warm, she's friendly, she's giving golden retriever energy. He is from Brazil, I want to say, and he's worked there for a year, and he's probably works better, but he's less passionate. And there's something that happens to the hotel. Basically the roof collapses, and therefore one, they can't host as many guests, and two, the hotel is now in financial trouble, and so they're both allowed to work together side by side at the moment, but it's almost a bit like a competition as to who can keep their job, but they're also kind of fancy each other. So yeah, I'm 2 hours in. Nothing particularly has happened between the two of them yet, although they keep mentioning an event of the past, so we shall see. But that's my audiobook. And then also from the library, but only because I've honestly had this book now for about 5 weeks, I'm currently reading Mad Honey by Jodi Picoult and Jennifer Finney Boylan. And this is a book about, I'm currently holding my place, one, with a coaster, and two, I'm currently on page 76. And this is about a mother and son. And the son has a girlfriend, and the girlfriend turns up dead, and the son is the only one who was in the house when that happened. So naturally he's the first suspect, and it's basically the two of them navigating through this series of events that are linked to the death of his girlfriend. And yeah, I'm actually really enjoying it so far. I don't know why I put it off for so long. I think it was the length. It's quite a long book for a thriller, it's 450 pages. This is book number 1. So let's go. Where is the clock app on my phone? So we're gonna wrap it up to 23 hours, 59 minutes and 59 seconds. We are an hour in. I've made it to page 205. A little bit of a curveball has just been thrown at the case, which I wasn't expecting. We are full on living through the court case. We are watching all of the defense. We are watching, currently watching the prosecution, but we're watching the whole thing, which I just didn't quite expect. Until the court case, it was giving thriller, and now it's giving more crime. I'm still really enjoying it, but I feel if you're not into a proper detective, well, it's not a detective, but a proper lawyer defending kind of vibe, you probably will find it quite boring. But I'm actually really enjoying it. I find it fascinating. So yeah, it is currently 7:45. I think I'm gonna go head downstairs and make a cup of tea. I probably keep reading downstairs. I am approaching halfway through the book. Yeah, it's getting quite tense. I think one of my biggest fears in life, and I have a few of them, but one of my biggest fears in life is being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and therefore being trapped in some kind of basically what this kid's going through, potentially. He might also be guilty, but like potentially what's kids going through in the fact that like you didn't do it, you just happened to be there. Like that is like terrifying. And I'm getting quite stressed reading this, which is not quite the 7 a.m. wake up vibe that I wanted. But yeah, it's really good. I'm actually really enjoying it. And I kind of was slightly annoyed I put off this book for so long. There's also a lot of bee talk. The mother is a beekeeper and they talk about bees a lot. There's a lot of bee analogies, which is really peculiar, but it's kind of fun, I guess. I finished the book. There are 21 hours and 40 minutes left on the timer. Okay, this book is intense. It deals with quite big, like, political and sociological issues, which I just wasn't expecting, about gender and sex identity, some mental health issues. Like, it gets really, really deep. And I just wasn't expecting it. It takes a turn just after halfway through and you're like, whoa. I actually really enjoyed it. I found the court case very stressful. I like how it ended. I didn't enjoy the ending. Enjoying the ending is the wrong word to use, but I liked the ending. I feel like for me this is going to sit somewhere around that kind of 4 to 4.5 star mark. I think I was too stressed for this to be a 5 star. But yeah, I finished this book. All read. It is now 9 o'clock exactly. I am probably going to go listen to a bit of my audiobook and then make some breakfast, but I also need to start reading my next book at some point. So the book's on my monthly TBR. This is my TBR journal for any of you guys who have not seen it, my little August spread. So the books on my TBR which I have not read are Really Good Actually by Monica Heisey, Phantasma by Kayleigh Smith, Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellors, Twilight by Stephenie Meyer, and The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I'm feeling like I might want to read Really Good Actually by Monica Heisey. I just think I need something that's like, I don't know if that's lighthearted, but something a bit more like less serious. I don't necessarily think this is going to be like really cheerful because it's about divorce, but I feel like it's not going to be as like stress-inducing. So this is the blurb on the back of this book. It says, Maggie's marriage has ended just 608 days after it started, but she's fine. She's doing really good, actually. Sure, she's alone for the first time and she can't afford her rent, and her obscure PhD is going nowhere, but at the age of 29, Maggie is determined to embrace her new status as a surprisingly young divorcee. As Maggie throws herself headlong into the chaos of her first year of divorce, she soon finds herself questioning everything, including, why do we still get married? Did I fall in love before I even got started? How many 4 a.m. delivery burgers do I need to eat until I am happy? I feel like this is what I need, and then I'll probably get back into my little fantasy worlds that I know and love, but I just think I need something a bit different, something that's like not quite as heavy.
As he picks the phone back in its grave.
We now have 20 hours, 37 minutes and 45 seconds left on the timer. I've eaten breakfast, I've got dressed, I've put on some concealer, but otherwise this is the vibe for today. My hair air dried and it's air dried a little bit crazy. I've made a little dent in this book. I got to page 103. If you've read any of Sophie Kinsella's books, she wrote The Secret Diary of a Shopaholic. It's a very similar writing style. Like, it's not mixed media, but there are like mixed media elements in the fact that you get like emails, you get lists, you get all sorts of things that like is going on in her head and like in her life. But it's the way it's written, it's so casual, and it's like a stream of consciousness that's going on in the character's like brain. It's just like on the page, and one, it makes it very easy to read, and two, it's exactly what I wanted. Like, it's so lighthearted, but also dealing with quite a serious issue. Like, she's going through a divorce and trying to re-find herself, but it's being told in such like an easy reading kind of way. So yeah, I'm really actually enjoying this book. So it's currently 10, it's 10 past 10. I'm actually gonna get in the car and drive to, there's an RSPB reserve. For those of you who don't know, that's basically, it's called the Royal Society of Protection of Birds. Royal Society of Protection of Birds, yeah. The RSPB reserve that's not far from where we live. I'm gonna drive over there, I've got a membership card, and basically just get outside, get some fresh air. It's quite grey outside, but it's like dry. So yeah, I'm gonna go and head out for a walk. I will take my book with me because I might go sit somewhere. I will listen to my ebook on the car on the way over. I'll then listen to my ebook again while I'm walking around, and then I might stop and sit and read some of this book. But I think that's the plan for this morning.
She says, coming to a standstill between us. Down. Easy says. Quite how deeply I care. Because she's really good at this sort of thing. Spreadsheets, normalization and stuff. I stare at her in surprise. Her cheeks go faintly pink.
It's a grey old day, but I am currently in the middle of a forest. I'm now sat on a bench. Don't know if you can tell. I think I'm going to move over to my physical book for like 20 minutes or so and just sit here and read. I forget how much I love it here. On the audiobook of The Wake Up Call, they're now in a single bed trope. It's kind of quite fun. They got stranded in London, staying at a hotel. They're now watching Love Actually. It's quite Christmassy actually. This book does feel like it should be a Christmas book. About 19 and a half hours left. So, I'm probably actually going to head back out again, but I'm just catching up in the car and swapping over books because I have finished my book. What time are we on? We've got 18 hours and 31 minutes left on the timer. And yeah, I finished another book. I finished Really Good Actually by Monica Heisey. I gave it 3 stars, and I don't think it's necessarily because it's a bad book. I enjoyed reading it. Oh god, you're running out of memory. I enjoyed reading it and I had a good time reading it, but it just wasn't anything special. You know, it just didn't get me excited. Maybe I should head home and get the memory card. It was such a quick, easy read. You're basically following a character called Maggie as she goes through a divorce when she's 29. They've been married for like 2 years, just went through a divorce, and it's her like coming to terms with the kind of year and a bit after the divorce. And it's actually quite light-hearted considering it's quite a serious topic. And I think it's because there's lots of like sections being like Google searches on the 4th of April, and then she does one that's like advice from friends you wish you never received, and like there's lots of like bits in it like that, which I think breaks the book up slightly. As while I was walking, I was listening to Beth O'Leary's The Wake Up Call, and it's just so cute. It's so freaking cute. I can't stop smiling listening to this audiobook. Like, I am smiling for absolute days. It is adorable. And then the next book I am going to read, but I'm probably now going to read it when I get home, is the last book in... This is a very different vibe, but this is the last book in the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy, and this is A Conjuring of Light. It is a beast. It is a very, very long book. This is about, basically, there are 3 versions of London. Well, 4, but the 4th one hasn't been seen for a long time. So there are 3 versions of London. There's red, there's grey, and black. Red, grey, and black? Red, white, and black? I forget what the 3rd one is. One, there is, like, magic omnipresent. One, there is, like, a bit of it, and one, there's not at all. And there's some people who can, like, travel between the different Londons. And at the beginning, one of the people who can travel between the different Londons is trying to get something to throw it back to Black London, which is the 4th one, because something's escaped from it that shouldn't like be out. And he meets someone, they're not really a love interest, but they kind of are, like, they're more like a father-daughter love interest, but then also a love interest. It's a little bit weird. And yeah, this is the last book in that trilogy, so I assume he's going to end up in Black London, I'm guessing. Anyway, I will read this now when I get home because you have 1 minute left on the memory card and I need to sort that out so I can keep filming. Hours and 19 minutes left on the timer. I have made it to very nearly halfway through this book. I've just got to page 300. The book is 650 pages. I forget how much I love this author's writing. It's so contagious. She writes lots of like really short, sharp chapters. So the story just feels like it's like constantly moving. But the thing that I really enjoy about this versus some other books I've read where there's lots of short chapters and lots of POVs is while the POVs flip quite a lot, most of the time the flipping of POVs, you're still in the same story. So you're still following the same like 2 or 3 characters that are all together and doing the same thing at the same time. You just might swap from like Kel's to Reese's, I think that's how you pronounce his name, to like you'll swap to characters who are in the same thing doing the same thing. You're just seeing it from a different person's perspective, and so it makes the story go really fast while actually you're able to keep up. Oh, I just love it. And it's such a unique like world and system with these like 3, 4 Londons and this like magic and these like evil things that are like taking over and having to put the country to sleep. It's so cool. And I just reached part 7, I think that is 7, setting sail, and now we're getting into like a little pirate bit. And now I normally, and I don't know what it is, I find when characters are on boats and they're sailing like pirates quite boring. I don't know what it is. There's something about characters being on a boat that just gets quite tiring. So now we're in a boat session and they're like traveling overseas. I'm not sure. There was a whole point in the second book where the female main character is on a boat and I was like, why is she trying to be a pirate? And I feel like we're going to be in that again. So I'm probably not going to enjoy the next part, but I love this book. I love this author. I love this world. I love everything about it. But I am very tired. I'm very tired, as I just gave you the impression of. And it is currently 3 o'clock. So I'm going to go outside with an audiobook on and go pick up the pears and the apples that have fallen off the pear and apple tree and are now just going mouldy on the floor. So I'm going to pick all those up so I can put them in the green waste bin. We are at 14 hours and 49 minutes left on the timer and I have finished this book. Where am I going to put you? Should we just talk in the corridor? Why not? Do you like our wallpaper? Anyway, I have finished this book. This was incredible. This was... You know, just like really love a fantasy world, like a big, epic fantasy universe. This one is 3 books long, so it's like good enough that you can like get into it, but not so long you committed to like 8 books. And I loved it. Such a fan. Such a fan. I actually don't know what I want to read next. This is the I thought there was someone outside. This is the debate that I am now having with myself. But I finished this book. Stop wobbling. Stay still. I finished this book. I kind of feel like I don't want to read another fantasy. But then I think most of the books I still need to read are fantasies. Do I read Cleopatra and Frankenstein? I think this is like the book I've been wanting to read for ages and just have never got around to. Do I read this? This is Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellors. I bought this ages ago and then like not long after bought Blue Sisters, but still haven't read this one. Let me I've just readjusted so that it wasn't such an awkward height. But yeah, I think this is the next book I am going to read. This is what it says on the back. New York is slipping from Cleo's grasp. 24, at a different party every night, and with a student visa that's swiftly running out, she doesn't even have money for cigarettes. But then a chance encounter on New Year's Eve offers her a way out. Frank, successful and 20 years older, can give her the security she craves and the green card she needs. And in Cleo, he sees a life filled with beauty, art, and freedom. As the two rush headlong into an impulsive marriage and their friends are drawn into its tumultuous orbit, what began as a chance meeting will change all their lives forever. So yeah, I think this is the last, like, as I said, heavy book to read for the day. And then we'll read some, like, chill books. But it is 4:30. I think I might head into town just to like go for a walk and get a bit of a change of scenery. The sun keeps trying to come out and then it just absolutely fails. So I've read really good actually. I need to read Phantasma. I've read Problematic Summer Romance. I've read Twisted Games. I'm about to read Cleopatra and Frankenstein. I've read Toward Eternity, and then I need to read Twilight and The Hunger Games, but I think they'll be my like late at night books. I've officially just passed the halfway mark. And I finished Cleopatra and Frankenstein. It was very like slice of life, and I feel like if you like a slice of life book, you'll probably quite enjoy this. I find slice of life books a little bit boring. I kind of feel like I want the book to be building to something, and it kind of didn't really build to anything because it's effectively just following these two people's lives as they navigate a marriage that they're not really happy in. And that's kind of about it. It ends quite nicely. It's written very well. Like the writing, beautiful. I just don't think it's my thing, which I don't think is really a reflection of the book or the author, just my personal preference. Anyway, it's 7:30. I'm gonna order takeaway in a minute for dinner, which actually means I'm more awake than I thought I was gonna be when this book is finished. So I think I might read one more like not reread before I get into my like reread sections. So I thought I'd quickly talk you through what I picked up from the library yesterday. I'm not going to read this one because this one is a beast, but this is The Crimson Crown by Heather Walter, which seems to be a retelling of Snow White, but from the Queen's perspective, I think, basically. It says Snow White's Dark Queen tells her story in this queer, witchy reimagining of a classic fairy tale from the author of Malice. I then have another one of Steve Kavanagh's books in the Eddie Flynn series. I don't know what the series is called, but all these books with Eddie Flynn in. I'm reading them way out of order, but I've read most of them. I think there's about 10. And then the book I think I'm going to read right now is a Blake Crouch book. So I've read a few Blake Crouch books. Dark Matter, Recursion and Upgrade are 3 of my favourite books. If I had to like collect, I don't know, my top 20 books, they would be in there. His writing is infectious. And then I read Run and I DNF'd it. So, I don't know. But this one is famous, no matter the cost, by Blake Crouch. And it's really short. I think it's like 250 pages. But the text is massive. So when you compare that to the text of this, can you see that? Show up on camera? I don't know. It's massive to me. And it's really short, and I feel like I can just like blitz through this quite quickly. This was a weird book. It's now 10:51 left on the timer, and I finished Famous by Blake Crouch. It follows the story of a man called Lance who's trying to pretend to be a actor called Jim Jansen, or James Jansen. I think it's interchangeable. And he's trying to pretend to be this like celebrity because he looks a lot like him, and he's even like injured his face to have the same scars. And he's just like inserting himself into this actor's life. He's going to like very, very off-Broadway plays and like accepting scripts and people on the street. It's a bit nuts. And the ending is like very Blake Crouch. The ending of this book is giving peak Blake Crouch. If you've read a Blake Crouch book, you will know what I mean. I would say like, if you just want a quick, easy book, easy is not the right word. If you just want a quick book, go for it. My food is like a minute down the road, so I'm actually going to take a pause from reading and go and watch some telly and eat my dinner, and then I will continue the reading afterwards. I just need a little like mental break. When you factor in I'm also 3/4 of the way through an audiobook, it's quite the pile. I feel like it's a good mix, and we are going to pick the next book. As I mentioned, we are about halfway through, are you dirty? About halfway through the 24-hour readathon, and I'm going to pick my next book for my little monthly TBR spread, and it's either going to be Twilight or Hunger Games. I feel like it's still relatively early. It's 9 o'clock, and I'm going to be pretty like up here for a little while. So I think I'm going to read Hunger Games. And this is not me saying that Hunger Games is an easy book to read by any way, shape or form. It's just that I know the plot. It is a middle grade / young adult writing, so therefore it's going to be easier to digest. I watched the film relatively recently, so like I just feel like it's going to be an easier book to wrap my head around. And I have the special covers. I thought these are Waterstones exclusives, but I actually bought this in my local bookshop, so I don't really know what they're in aid of, but they're all stunning. plot of this book because I'm just assuming everyone knows. But I've just got to the start of part 2, which is the games. And oh my god, I still remember to this day the bit that Peter says about she came here with me in the interview before they go into the games. I still remember seeing that on film and I was like, it was such a moment, and I just remember quite vividly that moment being revealed. About, I don't know, third of the way through, I've just got to part 2, the games. Despite the fact this is YA, and it feels YA, but despite the fact it's YA, there is something about the writing that's just so good. Like, so good. I'm so excited. I'm back. There are 9 hours left on the little timer. It's currently 11 o'clock at night. I have finished Hunger Games. Oh, you just forget how good it is. Like, honestly, this, I don't know what is in this book, but it's magic and I love it. So I had a great time reading this. What I am now going to do is get into bed, fire up the Kindle and read something on my Kindle because it'd be easier to read like laying down. And I think I might just read the next Zodiac Academy book. I think I'm on book 3. It is the next day. It is now Sunday. I have 6 hours and 57 minutes left on the timer. I stayed up till about 11:30-ish last night, and then I woke up this morning at like 7 and started again. So I actually didn't stay up that much last night, but I did read a good chunk this morning before I get out of bed. And then I've spent about 20 minutes pottering, listening to an audiobook. But I did read a good chunk of my ebook in bed. So I think I mentioned this last night. I'm currently reading the Zodiac Academy series. I'm on book 3 and I'm currently 39% of the way through, which is page 216. It's fun. I would say if you want a just fun little book to read, well, it's not little, a fun long book to read, then go for it. If you want like quality literature or proper epic fantasy, don't read it. It reads quite childish in its style, but it is a fun story. And sometimes reading is just for fun, right? Sometimes reading doesn't have to change your life or win a Pulitzer Prize. You can just read a fun book. And that to me is what this book is. Yeah, I got about 40% of the way through in bed. I've now got up. The sun is out. I don't know if you can tell because actually it's quite dark in this room. I'm going to go and continue reading my book on my Kindle while I have my cup of tea. And I'll let you know how I get on. At the moment, if you've read the series, the 2 Vega twins, which are the future queens, are going through, about to start, they're not actually going through it, they're about to start the trials. So in this book, there's a point, in this series, there's a point in the university or academy setting where you have to pass some trials to keep yourself in the school, and if you fail the trials, you get kicked out of the school. And they're about to start the trials.
Getting another tour from someone who really knows the heart of the place.
I am now out. I had to change top because I spilled tea all the way down my shirt, but I'm in a different white top instead. I have just driven to where I'm going to spend the day. It's just a little local town. Just going to go sit in the park and get a drink and, all that kind of stuff. I have nearly exactly 5 hours left on the timer. I've been listening to this audiobook, which feels like it's going to wrap up pretty soon. It's got 1 hour and 46 minutes left on it. I have my Kindle so that I can finish off Zodiac Academy, which I think I've got 12% left on. And then I've bought Phantasma by Kayleigh Smith, which I have wanted to read this book for such a long time. I've now driven to a different part of town, and this time we are in a park. There is 3 hours left on the timer, which I don't know if I told you that earlier. And I made a start on Phantasma. I got to page 62. So far so good. We're still very much in setup phase, so I don't have a huge amount to say yet. It's giving gothic, and it's giving a lot of the things that I really enjoyed about Two Twisted Crowns, or whatever that duology was called. So I'm very, very excited. But yeah, I've parked up in the car park of, it's called something Meadows. I don't know what it's called, but it's meadow, basically. I'm just going to go sit out in it and keep reading. Why can't you focus on anything? What is going on? As you've probably gathered,
my camera broke. It won't focus and I don't know why. I'm going to sort it out when I get back. But in the meantime, I am literally sat by a tree in the middle of goddamn nowhere reading my book. I'm going to work out what's going on my camera later. This will be my third camera I've broken, if it is broken. It was literally working in the car and I haven't dropped it. I haven't done anything to it. I don't know why it's not working. So we shall see. But in the meantime, yeah, I'm currently reading Phantasma. I don't know what the sound quality of this is going to be like. I'm actually really, really enjoying it. It's giving Caraval, but meets the like gothicness of Two Twisted Crowns. It's Caraval because there's a sister who's entered a competition to find her sister, and then the vibes are Two Twisted Crowns. And so far, could be a new favourite. Could be a new favourite. See you later.
That's weird. The camera is now fixed. I don't even know what happened. I don't understand. Don't ask me. I'm not a camera expert. I literally just turned it off, gave up for a bit, and came back. I finished a lot of things while I was out and about today, and I don't think I ever really gave you a proper summary of those things. So, the first thing I finished was the ebook of the third Zodiac Academy. For those who don't know, it's like a why choose bully romance. No, it's a why choose bully romantasy set in an academic setting with fae. Is that enough for you? It's fun and it's cheesy and I just have a good time reading it, but I understand why people hate it. 1, bully romance, not so great. 2, writing, not so great. They're the main reasons. But I have a really fun time reading it, so I'm just gonna keep going because that's what reading is all about. I then finished the audiobook of, wait for it, The Wake Up Call by Beth O'Leary. I smiled so much listening to this audiobook. I actually thought it was so freaking cute. Is it my new favourite all-time obsession book that I will think about forever, want to reread, etc, etc, etc? No. Did I absolutely giggle and kick my feet and it was so freaking adorable? Yes. There is a bit of miscommunication in it, but you can kind of see how the miscommunication happened. So like, I'll excuse, but it's so cute. It feels like you are watching an old-fashioned rom-com. Like, they're trying to save a hotel, they're falling in love, it's Christmas. It feels like it should be a Christmas book. But anyway, it's really cute. I love it. It was fun. And then I went to a nature park thing near where I live and went for a walk. I took a bit of a break from reading and just listened to some music, but I then sat down in the middle of nowhere and read this. And I read this, I did move. I read this in 2 sittings, but 2 sittings, a whole book. And I think it's like 500 pages. I am so obsessed with this book. Honestly, it's like Caraval, if any of you guys know Caraval, and The Shepherd's Duology, which is Two Twisted Crowns and I keep thinking I say the second one. What's the first one called? One Dark Window is the first one. One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. It's like those 2 series had a child that was adult fantasy with romance. And that is this. It's upside down. That is this. I love this so much. There are those books I read in my life and I'm like, I will reread that book at some point. And this to me is that book. I had such a fun time. I feel like I saw some of the twists and turns coming, genuinely. And I don't know why. I think it was because it's following quite a similar storyline to some other books that I've read. So I kind of felt like I knew where it was going. Still enjoyed it. I still had a great time. And I'm excited to read the second one, which follows the sister from this story. So there you are. And a little clock update. We've still got 1 hour and 21 minutes left on the clock. So I'm gonna add this to my pile. I don't know what to read next. I think the last book on my monthly TBR, can you tell my brain is like slowly breaking down? The last book I have to read on my monthly TBR is Twilight. And then I am finished. Do I want to read Twilight right now? I picked these books up, and actually it's only the first 3, in a charity shop near where I live. And I don't really know why. I don't really know what came over me. I don't really know why the desire to reread Twilight really came from. I read these books before the films came out, and I haven't read them since. And I used to adore it. So with my hour and a half I have spare, let's see how far through Twilight I can get. out there's something about this camera, it can't film outside anymore. I don't know what that's about, but we have finished. I have read for 24 hours over the last, I don't know, 36 hours. So I got a good way through Twilight, considering I had like an hour and a half left. Got to page 298. I mean, there's something about this writing, it's very like to the point. It's very like she did this, then she did that, then she did this, then she felt this way about that, and then she went and did this, and then she went and did that. It's just very factual and not a whole lot of anything else. But you know, what can you do? I haven't quite finished this book, but you know, we're not far. When you add this book on, and the fact that I read an ebook that was about 500 pages and an audiobook that was, I don't know, probably like 350 pages. I read fast, I think. I don't know, I feel like I read a lot of books. But yeah, one of my highlights. I mean, I think my highlight has to be Phantasma. Loved it. I also really liked Hunger Games. I found Mad Honey stressful. But only because I have a fear of the exact same thing happening to me. Famous was a bit of a nothing story. Cleopatra and Frankenstein was fine, it's just not my kind of book. Really Good actually was similar kind of vibe. And then this was the ending of an epic series. So, oh, and then my ebook, which I just giggled constantly at. And no, my audiobook, which I giggled constantly at. And my audiobook, what is wrong with my brain? My audiobook, which I giggled constantly at, and my ebook, which is just a fun, easy read. So there you have it. I have finished another 24-hour readathon. This time we have read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 3/4 of books. So nearly 10. So close to 10 books. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, click subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know if any of these books you have read and you have enjoyed. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!